From the post-millennial, Fox loses $1 billion after parting ways with Tucker Carlson. The Fox Corporation stock plummeted as much as 5% on Monday, wiping out $930 million in market value following the announcement that Fox News had parted ways with Tucker Carlson. According to Business Insider, shares of the media company recovered slightly after, so it dropped. It ended up at like $29. The decision to part ways with Carlson announced less than a week after the Fox Corporation and Dominion voting systems, blah, blah, blah. Carlson was one of the network's most popular hosts, blah, blah, blah. You know, I saw some really interesting commentary from Glenn Greenwald. You want to know what he said? How come the left doesn't care about Hannity? How come the left doesn't complain about Hannity or Laura Ingraham? And he said it's because Tucker's the only one who was anti-war and anti-big pharma.
Yeah, interesting.
So the left went after him and completely ignores the safe GOP. And that's what Fox News wants to be. They don't want Tucker Carlson coming out here and saying these things.
Yeah.
They want someone to go on and just be like, big corporations are great. Everybody just do what the government says.
Exactly. They would love that if Tucker went on there and was like, the left wants you to think that these corporations are doing bad things to America. They're our best friends, actually. They do great things. You should
really
Pfizer
good.
and Moderna. Thank you. But I sort of mentioned this yesterday, that CNN is the network that tells you what you're supposed to believe, and then Fox is the network that tells you what you're allowed to believe. So if you don't want to buy into what CNN is saying, they'll push you over to Fox, and that's still within the realm of acceptable opinion.
Controlled
but Tucker's
opposition.
a little bridge too far. Yeah, he's a bridge a little too far for that.
Bridge too far, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually says something. You know, how cable news commentators, they're all buzzwords.
Apparently now they got this thing. He launched this thing on his website where it's like you can text some number to like Tucker to 44 or something or whatever, and then they'll send you information on what he's planning to do or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like you'll get notified when he announces his next big move or whatever. I think Tucker Carlson's going to end up making $100 million a year off this termination. Yeah. Fox, if Fox was paying him, I think they say, like if you Google it, it says his salary is $35 million. Imagine how much Fox needs to make off of his show in order to pay him $35 million a year.
And run Fox, yeah.
That's kind of crazy, though. I mean, I don't understand how they pay. I think Hannity gets like $60 million or some other ridiculous number.
Hannity was getting paid more than Tucker.
Oh yeah, easily.
Really? He has seniority. Yeah, it does have seniority, but I imagine Tucker's a much bigger
Tucker
draw
also
to the
just
network.
wasn't bringing in a lot of advertising money.
That makes sense. They all boycotted him.
Yes.
Well, according to the same website, Hannity was getting a comparable salary.
Good.
Yeah, he was getting $34 million plus a $5 million bonus.
I don't think
know if that's
Hannity
true.
should make more than Tucker. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I don't trust these websites. Celebrity net worth as his salary is $45 million. I read somewhere that he was getting $60 million. This one says he gets $25 million. These websites are all fake.
All the people doing these like end zone dances about Tucker being fired from Fox, like didn't we just go through this a couple of years ago when Barry Weiss left the New York Times and the same people were doing the same end zone dances, and then she went on to create the Free Press, which is like dwarfs any
And
presence
she's
had as a
probably
columnist for the New
so
York
rich
Times.
now.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think she already comes from like a well-off family, and now the rich have gotten richer because the New York Times decided to unleash her.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
So imagine Tucker Carlson, he's going to like 10x that, right?
You got to make a video.
hope.
You got to make a cartoon about like Tucker, Scrooge McDuck, swimming in a
And just
giant
getting a bunch of
vault.
money. Look, I hope that's what happens. I appreciate the optimism I'm seeing from a lot of conservatives on this. Part of my concern is, I voiced this yesterday, is that because Fox tells people what is acceptable, it was great to have Tucker there to help shift that Overton window and introduce a new audience to ideas that the rest of us are familiar with or have been reading up about online, but that audience wouldn't give credibility to seeing it on the internet as opposed to cable television. I certainly have no doubt that Tucker Carlson's going to be extremely successful. He's going to be fine. It's a question of, is his message going to spread as far and wide? I hope so. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying that having that platform was definitely very good for America. Having someone on cable television saying the things Tucker was saying was very good for America.
I think they also had to pay out his contract. Meaning if he was getting, like, they can't just sever his contract. So I imagine they went to him and said, we're terminating your show. And he was like, then you owe me $30 million for the rest of the year. And they went, okay. Had to cut him a check.
Well, apparently he found out 10 minutes before they made the announcement.
So they had to have just paid him.
Right.
Because unless they're like, this is the crazy thing about these contracts with these big networks is they give themselves like morality clauses to terminate you in violation of what the contract is supposed to do. It's like, hey, we're going to hire you for 3 years. We're going to pay you X amount of dollars for 3 years. Then buried in it says we can fire you for this specific reason. Then they just wait until they can justify whatever that reason is, and then you're gone and they don't pay you for it. But I imagine they're paying Tucker. I imagine they just wrote a big, fat, 8-figure paycheck to Tucker Carlson. And He doesn't have to work. What's he gonna do? He's also is Tucker Carlson like the heir to like the O. Henry candy bar fortune or something?
He married into the TV dinner fortune.
Oh, so his wife is the heiress to Swanson TV dinners.
Something like that.
Yeah, the O. Henry thing, that was a Seinfeld reference.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Did he have?
But you're not old enough to understand
no,
Seinfeld.
of course. Only 90s kids remember.
That's right.
Is that what you're telling
Did he
me?
come from some kind of prominent family himself?
I'm not
that?
sure. I don't know.
Yeah, the Vanderbilts. Oh wait, that's Anderson Cooper.
Oh,
Snap.
And then he got a summer internship at the CIA, which he abruptly left, and then went to I think Iraq to report on the Iraq War, and then got a job working for for CNN.
Anderson Cooper had a stint with CIA?
I think it was for 2 years, a summer internship.
Do you ever leave the CIA?
No, you don't.
Hey, well, there you go. I was hanging out with Luke Brodkowski once, and I think we were in Atlanta or something. And then he saw Anderson Cooper, and he ran up, and he was like, Anderson, you work for the CIA. And then I was like, Luke, what are you doing? Like, what does that accomplish? And Anderson was just like, what are you talking about? And like walked off. Because the saying is once CIA, always CIA, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think the way it works is that you might not be on the payroll, but you're an asset, right? There's informal relationships. You might not even realize you're an asset, but you've got relationships. They cultivate relationships in you. Then, they maintain those relationships.
Well, I want to ask the audience here. We have this other story from Post Millennial. Subscribers ditch Fox Nation after Tucker Carlson leaves network. Quote, just canceled my Fox Nation subscription. No point in having it without Tucker Carlson originals. Ooh. Is anybody who watches this show subscribed to Fox Nation?
I did see comments or I saw people chatting and like, I canceled my Fox Nation subscription. So there was some overlap.
Well, yeah. Maybe
not anymore. Maybe they all canceled.
I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking like, why is all this happening at once? ABC News Disney fired Nate Silver. BuzzFeed News shut down.
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon's fired. Tucker Carlson's out. There's like some coordinated thing. Is it a global conspiracy? Are they trying to turn the frogs gay or something?
Probably, yeah. That's got to be behind it at some point. I don't exactly know how it twists and turns to get us to that point, but I think that's a safe bet.
I mean, isn't this just kind of a reckoning? Like these, I mean, both the legacy media and these new upstart media outlets that came out around like 2013 or so, your Vices and your BuzzFeeds and stuff. I mean, the legacy media has been on the deathbed for a long time, and those new Jack ones have too. I mean, they've been like maybe they had a little bit of lead time over the cable news channels, but like, I mean, does anybody read BuzzFeed News? Like, does anybody?
Yes, that's where I get all of my information. BuzzFeed News.
I spoke with somebody earlier today who expressed some concerns of. Well, they know a lot of people like within the Republican establishment who are sort of expressing some concerns over whether or not the audience that Tucker had on Fox is actually going to follow him to a smaller network or an independent network or any of his next projects. So maybe they're just sort of trying to take him off the board again ahead of the 2024 election. He's too big of a figure to cancel completely, but the thinking is that some of the people who watched him on Fox may not follow him to any other platform and get the information that he was putting out.
That's my fear, and that's basically what I was saying yesterday.
But I think the basic conversation is that Brian Kilmeade is going to be a much more based version of Tucker Carlson. Everyone thinks Brian Kilmeade is the new Tucker.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing the kids say on Twitter.com.
It's actually, I guess it doesn't work. It's not funny because no one knows who Brian Kilmeade is, but
right.
Yeah, he's not Tucker
I mean,
Carlson.
Jesse Waters was the number 2 show, right?
Yeah, I mean, why don't they put Jesse in that slot?
Yeah.
Does anybody have a reason?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you why they should or shouldn't.
They should just not put anyone in that slot and just put dead air.
Exactly. and now a moment of silence
for the next hour.
in memory of Tucker Carlson. And then it just shows black and white pictures of him with sad piano music playing, and like Tucker Carlson, year of birth to 2023. So that's what they're going to do to convince the audience, like, no, he's dead, don't follow him anywhere. We never said he was dead. You can't take us to court, but they just mislead the audience into thinking he's dead so that they can effectively cancel him.
So I guess we have this video from Ocasio-Cortez. I'll play for you. I'm sorry that I have to do this to you, but we'll play it anyway. Is there no sound?
Out at Fox News.
Here we go.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. What I will say, though, is while I'm very glad that the person that was arguably responsible for the some of the largest, driving some of the most amounts of death threats and violent threats, not just to my office, but to plenty of people across the country.
What?
I also kind of feel like I'm like waiting for the cutscene at the end of a Marvel movie after all the credits have rolled.
Wow.
And then you see like the villain's like hand
Oh my gosh.
reemerge out to grip over like the end of a building or something. But deplatforming works.
No,
and
it
it is
doesn't.
important.
Remember when
And,
Captain America deplatformed the Red
you
Skull in Marvel? It's just like Marvel, you guys. It's like the Avengers. A giant corrupt corporation fired him for speaking out against corporations and corporate. These superheroes, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh
What
my goodness.
I found fascinating about this is that she's celebrating an anti-war personality
Yes.
being removed from a major corporate network, and she doesn't care at all about Hannity or Laura Ingraham or any of their other personalities.
That's what I'm saying. You'd think she'd be able to see, okay, Tucker does have right-wing politics, and that's bad and scary. But you know what? Everyone else on Fox does as well, and Tucker is also anti-war, and he speaks out against corporate greed, but she is on the side of a lot of the corporations that he speaks out against, so it's not convenient, and I don't really think she's all that
Tucker
anti-war.
Carlson
Who are we dealing with here?
had that famous moment where he was doing the handoff with Hannity, and he was complaining about Amazon exploiting its workers or something like
yes,
that.
and him and Hannity argued. He's like,
Yeah,
well,
Han-
some people like the free market, Tucker. And he's like,
Oh no! But
he's saying.
And he talks more like this. Some people want a good product from Amazon; they're allowed to buy it. And Tucker goes. For those that are just listening, I made a face.
So he's like, excuse me, idiot says what? He's like, what? And he's like, he just said he's an idiot. You heard it, America.
And then Hannity goes, Tucker, you said what in order to say that I was saying what? And then Tucker was like, oops.
And then that's what Tucker like was like, skirted out. Hard
But in all seriousness, though, I think that was a moment where it was fairly obvious. Tucker was getting the views and they liked it, but he was at odds with the GOP machine. I wonder if this play is more so because they want to get away from Trump and away from MAGA. Like people were saying, it's clearly about the Dominion lawsuit. It's like, well, Hannity and other personalities were talking a lot about the same thing too. And Tucker actually was rejecting the 2020 narrative from Trump.
Yeah.
And he got attacked for it by Trump supporters.
That's what I'm so confused about. Like if it was about the election, and why would they not have gotten rid of Maria Bartiromo? And
Yeah, she was way more into that.
yeah,
It's not.
Could he just be the first domino?
I mean, it would
a big
be.
domino.
I got to be honest. It would be like the coolest thing ever if, like, within the next 2 weeks, every single Fox personality is fired.
Except Sean Hannity. He's the only guy there. He has to
they-
fill all 24 hours. He's just like, I'm not sleeping anymore. Now he knows how the Amazon workers feel. He's just never sleeping. And he's like, maybe
Today's
there should be
episode-
labor laws or something. I don't know. It's
union.
crazy.
union.
Yeah, maybe I need a union or something.
Today's 24-hour cycle is brought to you by Modafinil. Do you guys know what modafinil is?
No.
It's what snipers and astronauts take. It's a pill that makes so you don't gotta sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I took it for
Yeah.
it was like a narcolepsy drug in the 60s in France. I took that out from a brain injury actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the brand name is Provigil or something. And apparently you don't gotta sleep if you take it.
How many times can you take it before you die?
I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know enough about it, but like truckers do it illegally or something. But like it's astronauts and snipers actually use it, and you just stay awake.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, Serge. Do you know how long you can take it before dying?
It's not that nice to take. It doesn't have like abuse potential. It makes you feel like terrible, like your skin gets super dry. So I wouldn't, it's not a party drug. It's not like Adderall or anything like that. But yeah, not like meth. I don't know. It would,
Okay.
I don't imagine to take that much. You'd probably die pretty quick. Actually, it's very strong.
Wow. Good to know.
Yeah.
So what is it? It's like for people who can't sleep properly, they have narcolepsy or whatever.
Yeah. If you have narcolepsy, it just it keeps you awake during the daytime, so you don't fall asleep while you're taking it. Basically, I don't know what it does.
sucks.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.